From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
Good morning. It's Mornings LALATE with big news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today. I had told you on Early Mornings LALATE that today would be singly the biggest day for nearly the last 30 days to give you an update about your fourth stimulus check. And boy, it not only was the biggest day, it's perhaps the biggest day of the year. Economic data came in, exactly the economic data that I told you would impact your fourth stimulus check, the monthly stimulus check that starts in the month of July. And it came in a way no one saw possible. It is perhaps the most shocking details that have ever come out of this White House since the start of this pandemic, and I have all the incredible news in this recording. Monthly stimulus checks on the fourth stimulus package would start in the month of July and be the single biggest payout for you in the history of this channel. But they are not particularly at blame for what happened in the economic data that came out this morning. It's another part of the stimulus packages coming out of the White House that is to blame for the shockingly poor economic data that came out this morning. You are going to be flabbergasted, as I was as well. Wall Street is baffled by what's going on, but understands exactly the culprit. And I'll explain the details for you in a shocking recording, the most shocking you've seen on this channel for over a month. This morning, as the toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, I'm here, you're here. Let's get to it. This is your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today on Mornings LALATE. You're wonderful and safe. I am feeling good, and actually after this recording, you're going to see a special one-time only broadcast about me and my health right after this, a special 30-minute live broadcast in which I give you an update about myself personally. But thank you for joining me on Mornings LALATE. Boy, the economic data I'm about to tell you, I'm just shocked. I am shocked. And you know now why you tune into this channel. It's a 24-hour days broadcasting financial news channel, 7 days a week. But in advance of this morning's broadcast, on Early Mornings LALATE, but at 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I told you that this economic number was going to shock Americans. It did, but not in the way that I anticipated it. I'll go over all the details about that in a second. So subscribe. We're almost at 400,000 subscribers, less than 3,000 away, a YouTube record. We're less than one. We're 1 year old in just a few days. Also like this video, and if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. First, let's go over the stimulus check briefly, and then I'll cut back to the economic shocking developing details, and then we'll cut back to the fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check is the single biggest payout you ever see in the history of this channel. It has two paths to the finish line. The House path, which provides a stimulus check for a longer duration, more checks, and then the Senate path that gives less checks, but of a larger magnitude. Let's first look at the House plan. The House plan, written by Bill Talil and Jalapal, provides the following: that the stimulus check the first month would be $2,000, and then $1,000 thereafter for the remainder of the pandemic, continuing a year after the pandemic's over. That is their idea. And then we go to the House proposal. The House proposal is slightly different. So you just saw the Senate proposal is slightly different. You just saw the House proposal, $2,000 the first month and $1,000 thereafter. The Senate amount is unknown. The number of checks clearly differ. So you see the House members. For example, let's say there are 4 months left to this pandemic, you would get those 4 months of stimulus checks, and then a year thereafter, that would be 16 months of stimulus checks. The senators, however, only giving you stimulus checks to the end of December, so about 6 months of stimulus checks. And while the House members, every month, the stimulus check would be $1,000 after the first month, the senators, the amount is unknown, but word on the street, it's this amount, $2,000 a month, over 6 months, $12,000. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. There you go. Very easy to understand, very easy breezy. And I had always told you that among my concerns was getting this to the vote as quickly as possible because of jobs being restored and economic rebounding. Oh boy. Well, that those are my three concerns. Guess what? There's a new concern that hit minutes ago, and it was not something I anticipated. So who gets this stimulus check? You do. Same as third stimulus. If you made less than $75,000, you do. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you do. Just double the check amount. If you're on SSI or SSDI, Social Security or Railroad benefits, you do. And then if you are a child, same amount. Adult dependent, same amount. And household, four or less. It is not income. It's not taxable. The stimulus check would go out in the month of July for the month of July, and then continuing month after that. This is how the congressional leaders represent the situation. This is, we know nothing about child support and all those other questions across the board. This is the fourth stimulus check, and it would be an add-on added by the House or Senate members or both during a reconciliation process, which would take 2 months, 2 bills, 2 steps, starting the month of July, May, finishing the month of July. Very easy to understand. Okay, so you're up to date on the fourth stimulus check of 2021 right there. And then let's pause because I cover a lot of economic data on this channel. This one, I'm going to first tell you, it's easy to understand what the news was, but then it's going to take a breath to realize why this news occurred. I told you that the new jobs number was going to come in Friday morning. I've been talking about this jobs numbers for over a month. A month ago, the jobs numbers was 1 million new jobs created. And when that number came out, I told you that analysts at the time said that they thought the next jobs number could be 2 million. And I said I was worried because with 8 million jobs missing and 2 million jobs restored, the economy could have the jobs restored in 4 months, which is around when the stimulus checks would go out. I said it's concerned the jobs could be restored too quickly and people in Congress could get cold feet and not send out your stimulus checks. You remember that. It was about a month ago. I did that recording several times. And then yesterday, and on Early Mornings LA, before the data came out, I told you that analysts were anticipating the estimates for today's number, 1 million jobs restored, which I said was great news for purposes of stimulus check. Great news for purposes of stimulus because it basically says 1 into 8 months. We're not going to be restored until December. Okay. So those are the two permutations we had thought. 8 months, 1 million jobs, or 2 million jobs. So what did the number come in at? You're going to be shocked. 200,000. What? What do we mean 200,000? 200 what? You mean the whole? No. 266,000. The number of jobs created in the U.S. economy plummeted last month. Okay, before you say why, the why is the harder part. The number is the shocking one. And the number is shocking because it impacts stimulus. It really impacts stimulus. The unemployment number also went up. More people became unemployed. Unemployment number went up to 5.8%. And to make it even worse, they revised last month's number, which I told you was 1 million, and revised it down to 770. So last month was actually less jobs created, and 2 months ago, and this last month, which is the April number we're reading today, came in at 266. What happened? Okay, now the analysis. I have to slow this down for you because this is critical. I know I have several different types of viewers. I have some people who are seniors who don't work. I have some people who are former workers who are unemployed. I have some people who are back to work. And then I have some parents. And then I have some business owners. I have a lot of different type of viewers this channel. So I immediately had my gut reaction to the news. And guess what? Now analysts, and even you're going to hear from the U.S. Department of Commerce, U.S. Department of Business Commerce, said the same thing I thought as soon as I heard this data. The White House is sending out too much money for people separate from stimulus checks, for people like the children's check and the FPUC, that people are not taking jobs and they're staying home collecting these big checks and not taking jobs. And if this sounds familiar, it should. Yesterday and the day before, I reported to you that the governor of one red state said he is seeing that people in his state are not getting back to work and only collecting FPUC, and so he's canceling an FPUC effective immediately in June and 27th, and that other red states are set to do the same, saying there are jobs available and people are not taking those jobs and they're only collecting unemployment FPUC add-on. And he says this has to stop right now. Now, the second half of that story I have not been reporting, which he's actually offered a stimulus check for people to get back to work, saying, you want a stimulus check? Here's another stimulus check. You get back to work, but I'm stopping your FPUC. You're not taking jobs. Let's compound this. Last night, the head of Papa John's appeared on broadcast news and said, I have I don't remember the exact number. It was an enormous number. I have 50,000 store manager jobs right now, and no one wants to take them. They're just sitting there. I can't get anyone to apply for them. There are all these jobs in the economy, and people are not taking the jobs. Why? It's because the president wants to continue to send out certain types of stimulus, and people are taking that stimulus and staying home and not taking the jobs. On the other hand, the president is saying, I need to create more jobs. No, you don't need to create more jobs. There's actually an insane amount of jobs out there, the analysts report, and the businesses report. They say they can't get people to apply for the jobs. The problem is the president is sending out money for children, money for parents, and people are staying at home, doing crypto investing, and not taking jobs. And they're using stimulus from the White House to take those jobs. Now this, let's pause, because I told you this is very complicated. This is not the stimulus check problem. The stimulus check issue is different from this type of stimulus. This is the other type of stimulus. The stimulus check concept is basically, here's a stimulus check, pay your bills, go on with your life. That stimulus check actually, the fourth stimulus check is actually helped by today's news. The fourth stimulus check is actually helped by today's news because it shows that the stimulus check is the instrument the White House should have been using all along. It should not have been sending out $3,600 to parents, giving parents checks after checks after checks, and having them just stay at home and to collect checks. Should not have been indefinitely. You should have been giving much more FPUC last year, certainly during the FPUC retro time, when people had no jobs, when they couldn't pay their bills, when they were losing their houses. They should have been getting $600, $700 in FPUC. That was when they should have been getting the FPUC. Now when the jobs are around, they're still providing the FPUC blanketed, and people can simply stay at home and take FPUC and make $600, $700 a week. So here is the big problem, and that signals a real resonating problem for the Democrats. The resonating problem for the Democrats is that moderate Democrats will say, wait a second, I'm not agreeing with some of the progressive ideas. Some of the progressive ideas is raise the salaries. That's actually not the problem here, because a lot of the major businesses have now quadrupled the salaries 1, 2, 3, 4 times higher than even the minimum wage proposed by Bernie Sanders. I mean, they're having problems coming back to six-figure jobs. People are just not taking jobs, and they're saying, hey, that's not the problem. The problem is you're giving them too much other stimulus, not stimulus checks, but other stimulus. And here, let me tell you where the reaction is. Boy, you don't believe me. Here we go, one after another. The first is the shocking statement that came out minutes ago. The U.S. Department of Commerce just issued the statement in reaction to the news, saying that the $300 of FPUC is 100% to blame, not the stimulus checks. The disappointing jobs report makes it clear that paying people not to work is dampening what should be a strong late jobs market, says their statement minutes ago. One step policymakers should take now is end the $300 weekly supplemental unemployment benefits immediately. Based upon the Chamber's analysis, the $300 benefit results in approximately 1 in 4 recipients taking home more in unemployment than they earned working. Well, I don't know if I agree with the last sentence, but the issue that's now hitting is that Democrats and Republicans are saying people are taking unemployment and they're not coming to work. There are jobs, hundreds of millions of jobs available, and people are not taking them, and they're staying home and collecting unemployment benefits. Again, this is not the stimulus check that's impacted directly on it, but it impacts the whole universe of stimulus. Then Marty Walsh, who is the former mayor of Boston, the guy with the big thick accent, he appeared on broadcast news this morning, and he was the first official statement from the White House about this and what they would deal with it. And you and I certainly would anticipate that the White House would spin this and talk about something off point, because the president has really not been on point for this. And Marty Walsh did exactly that. Marty Walsh appeared on Squawk on the Street this morning, and he said under normal circumstances, and we're certainly not living in normal, 266 jobs created a month would be a good number. Unfortunately, we're still in the midst of the pandemic. If you look back at the last 3 months, the economy added 500,000 new jobs a month compared to the previous 3 months. So definitely in the good direction. No, you're not. It's really bad spin. So yeah, the economy's rebounding. We got that, Mr. Walsh, Secretary Walsh, but that does not explain why the problem. There is a problem. And the problem is that the economic data released today shows that there's tens of millions of jobs being created every week in this country, and people are not taking it, and the people not taking it are staying home and collecting Biden stimulus, not the stimulus checks, but the Biden stimulus week after week after week from the third stimulus, and they're waiting for him to give them more of that stimulus, not the stimulus checks, on the fourth and fifth. And this could signal a total reversal of thoughts. So what else did the numbers show today? I'll have that details in a second. But first, let me show you a little bit about what else I'm going to go over in this video. I want to first cut back to the 4 stimulus checks for a second. And I want to go over, because this, obviously you're seeing that this is just a jaw-dropping breaking news story just this minute. And I want to show you how the analysis needs to go very slowly. So let's look at the House proposal, which was $2,000 a month and then $1,000 every month for the remainder of the pandemic, and then continuing a year after the crisis is over. So this is part of the concern that people in the Democratic Party, especially progressives, are giving horizons with no explanation why there would be a year and a half of checks, 16 months of checks. Whereas there's a clear problem right now. People can't pay their bills. People can't pay their bills now. And if you get them up to date on their bills, then they're up to date on their bills and they're put back whole, then we're good. So that Senate plan, in lieu of today's numbers, may be the more logical. Give people more money faster, get them back to normal, get them fully caught up, and then we're done. If the president in July is talking about the reopening of the American economy, let's make sure everyone's bank account is back to pre-pandemic levels. We're all back to pre-pandemic levels. We're all good to go. We get all this stimulus in our pocket by checks, and we're done. And then hallelujah. Whereas the progressives' approach in the House is to sort of drag this off for a year and a half, and we slowly do it over time. It's now showing that the Senate proposal, which the viewers of this channel generally prefer, more money, faster, $12,000 in 6 months, looks more logical in light of today's events. People need money to pay bills. And if they can't pay bills, get them that money right now, get their bills caught up, and we're all good to go. $8,400 or $12,000 over 6 months. I'll have more about this and the shocking developments behind it, because I'm far from over. I told you it was going to be a shocking broadcast. I'll be back in 60 seconds. And drop some comments during the commercial break. I'll answer some of your questions on air. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues here on LALATE. There I am. In about 2 hours from now. But potentially before that noontime broadcast, I will have a special video about me and my health, because you've been asking. Wow, what a day it is. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. This is a reason why you want to be tuned into this channel 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because there's always something about to shock you. And today, no one saw this coming. No one saw this in the permutations over a month. We thought 1 million jobs are going to be restored, or 2 million jobs restored, but 200,000 jobs restored and more people unemployed than the month before. And the prior number dropped and revised downward. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe, because you want the most accurate and up-to-date information across the board, and the analysis that you need to understand how to go from point A to point B. And the nicest community as well. I loved your comments during the commercial break, and I'll address some of them and some of your comments as well in just 1 second. Also, like this video, 3,000 likes. Let's get it going. The toast is toasting. The butter is butter, and I'm here, you're here, and I got the economic data. If only you could have brought the bacon. Also, like this video. Consider becoming a member of Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Casino VIP. Okay, so let's go over. First of all, there was 2 very prevalent comments during the commercial break. One of the comments was people don't want to get back to work because they don't feel it's safe. And then other people were saying the employers are not making it particularly safe. Interesting comments. Very, very interesting comments. Yesterday, Dr. Scott Gottlieb said that there is a confused perception among Americans that we went into this pandemic very abruptly with everyone having to wear masks, and now that if people are vaccinated, then people should be able to remove the mask indoors and get back to normal. So there's a perceived perceived disconnect. Also, we had heard this discussion at a while throughout last year, where in the context of hazard pay, we wondered what were employers going to do to make the workplace sanitary, clean, safe, different, or you're just reopening your door that you had in 2020 the same way it was in 2020. Is that inviting enough for a worker to come back now in 2021 that's just the same door, you just moved a table 4 feet further apart? So some employers may not have been addressing that concern, and that was a great comment by some of the viewers across the board. The bottom line is that at least at the moment, the perception, and it's my belief as well, is that many workers are not getting back to work who are on unemployment benefits because they are taking the benefits and it's far more lucrative. As a personal note, not to be disparaging to any viewer, I do have 1 or 2 viewers who I do know, I follow, I see them on social media, and they have told me they collect unemployment benefits, and I see them buying $125 tennis shoes every few days. So, and having a lot of fun and going to the casino, and not the casino, the casino, and having a ball of a time. So there is that perception out there across the board. So the question is, how does this impact stimulus? It impacts stimulus for the following way. The 4th stimulus package is a stimulus package to create jobs in the American economy. It's called the American Jobs Plan. The 4th stimulus is to create jobs because the president says no one has jobs. Well, the first problem is that the forced stimulus' entire title or premise is that we need to create jobs to rebound this economy. No, we need to figure out why people are not taking jobs to rebound this economy. So there is that concern. The second concern is that whenever economic data comes out that is so blinding like this and is not something in the equation, it may signal that moderate Democrats who are part of the reconciliation process may say, stimulus checks, do the stimulus checks, darn it, but don't start doing all this other stuff. And you just spent all this money on these children's checks. They're starting in the month of February, in the month of July, and what was it? Oh, it was 8 days ago. You went out and said you want to pay $24,000 over 6 years to newborn children, to parents of newborn children. Why should those parents get back to work? And Representative Neal, who's head of the House Ways and Means Committee, who ultimately is part of drafting the fourth stimulus package and the fifth stimulus package, he wants to pay $85,000 to newborn children over 17 years to their parents. So do you think a parent that gets that type of money wants to take a job who also can get unemployment benefits on top of that? Yeah, it looks like wrong stimulus items being spent at the wrong place. And guess what? It's not a new message. You and I have been talking about that for a while. We've been talking about that for ages. Why are they not giving more money to seniors? Why are they not giving more money to business people who've lost their businesses? Why are they not giving more money for people to catch up on their bills? Why are they not giving more money to people on SSI and SSDI? Why have they not done SSI reform? Why did they not pay the money from last year we're owed? Why are they fixing the prior money? We have dealt with this message before. But now it looks like it's catching up to this president, that he is doing certain stimulus mechanisms that are not particularly right for this economy, and that he's spending money in the wrong place when the right place should be that stimulus check. Let's go back to that stimulus check. The stimulus check, the reason why it works is it's because it gets people back to normal. It gets people as close to back to normal as possible, gets them caught up on their bills, gets their feet back on their ground, and gets them caught up on what they are behind on, which is their bills and their bank account. Now, when you look at the House members that want to drag this out for 16 months, I don't know. And when you look at the House amount, $1,000 a month, I do have an opinion about that. $1,000 a month is too small. I think viewers of this channel would agree right now if you're in the live chat. Do you agree that $1,000 a month is too small? I think $1,000 a month, it doesn't cut it. It doesn't cut it. If you got problems right now with the bills, $1,000 a month does not cut it. Why are we dragging this out for many, many months at a small amount? Give us a big whammo of money to get caught up over a very quick period of time, and we're caught up and we are good to go, and then I go start recording videos about pasta on this channel or something. Give a lot of money, get people caught up, get them caught up on their bills, and whammo, we are feeling much better. As opposed to this number, which is just sort of trickle people, Americans, money progressively over time, have them collect more benefit, have them collect more unemployment, stay home, collect money for their children. Yeah, so let me see. Yes, it's too small, says Neil. Let me see what some of the other comments is. Do you think it's small? Dave Rose says it's too small. Tiffany says it's too small. NA says it's too small. They left the adult dependents in the dust, and also they got them forgotten. Oh, that's a great comment by Anne-Marie. So Anne-Marie is commenting about how they forgot people during the pandemic, which is absolutely true. First and second stimulus, they never took care of the adult dependents. So they didn't take care of people who need to pay their bills. Absolutely. Deborah Duvall, $1,000 doesn't cover a month's bill, let alone catch up. Amen, Deborah. I don't know what $1,000 is supposed to be for. I know across the country, different people's electric bills and utility bills are different in different parts of the states. But here in Southern California, where we pay more for water, obviously, because we don't. It doesn't rain in Southern California. There's a song about that. And utilities are very expensive in Southern California, so $1,000 doesn't cut anything. Dean Hersey, $1,000 a month is too slow. It's more like interest to creditors. Very well, I agree, Dean. It's too small, says Sharon Blunt. Wait to see what the Republicans offer, Patrick. Well, the issue, Patrick, thank you for your comment, is that we're dealing with a reconciliation bill, and so there would be no Republicans at issue. But the question is those moderate Democrats may now see this economic data and say, wait a second, you're just spending money in the wrong place. Amy Self, yes, you're 100% correct. Thank you. Jacqueline, honey, rent is $1,200 plus. RS Rowe, I don't have kids at home. I lost my job 3 weeks ago. Now what? Amber, I'm way behind. It won't even touch the grand total. Amber, how about this amount? If you got $12,000 in 6 months, would that catch you up? Betty Owens, $1,000 a month for one on SSI, widower, veterans, so on. So the bills are still behind. $1,400 doesn't cut it, Jenny Spain. So you see the big issue at hand. If you're just joining me, let me go over the breaking details. Because, boy, they are breaking details. Let me jump back 24 hours ago. Actually, 48 hours ago. 48 hours ago, the Republican governor of Wyoming said, which is a small state, he said, I see that people in the state of Wyoming are not getting back to work. I'm so sorry, Montana. The governor of Montana said people are not getting back to work in our state. I am ending FPUC effective immediately June 27th. And I'm also going to give them a stimulus check. He said that, and I had explained to viewers that there were other red states where the governors are Republicans that are vowing to do the same. End FPUC months earlier, which is an election-based program. The states have to apply for it. It's set to expire in September. At the time, we were surprised by this news. And then yesterday, I told you that this morning we would see the new jobs number, a number I've been detailing on this channel for over a month. I've been telling you it's the single biggest number for purposes of the fourth stimulus package. I've been telling this to viewers for 1 month. And I said there were two more permutations, that it would come in at 1 million jobs restored like the month before, or it would come in at 2 million jobs, as Wall Street was hinting but not particularly comfortable with. I said that 1 million jobs restored would be perfect because there's 8 million jobs missing. That means we wouldn't be restored back to December. Stimulus would go out the door. Everything would be fine. The other permutation I said was that if 2 million jobs are restored, then that could be concerned because the jobs could be restored before stimulus is out the door. 2 into 8, 4 months. We could see those jobs restored faster than the stimulus checks could be done. And then came the numbers this morning. The numbers this morning shocked Americans and shocked Wall Street and certainly shocked the president. They came in at 266,000 jobs. It plummeted. And with that, the unemployment number also went up. It didn't get better. It went worse. To which the Department of Chamber of Commerce, the largest business organization in the country, came out and said the number one culprit for this is FPUC, the $300 a week, that Americans are not taking jobs, they're staying home and collecting unemployment benefits. It comes 24 hours after the head of Papa John's appeared on broadcast news and said that he has tens of thousands of store manager jobs available across the country and no one is applying for the jobs. After days and days of CEOs appearing on broadcast news and said that they have entry-level positions, and other positions available, and no one is applying for them, they don't know what to do. They can't get people to apply for jobs. Marty Walsh, the labor secretary, who has only worked as a mayor before out of Boston. I mean, he's not, he is not, some enormous economist at all. Said he doesn't know really how to deal with the situation. And here is my takeaway for you this morning. It signals that the four stimulus checks are the instrument that works, that the president for the fourth stimulus package which is the American Jobs Plan, has an add-on for it. The president needs to stop talking about all this other money for these other walks of life and start sending out these massive stimulus checks for a very short duration so people are caught up on their bills. In the fifth stimulus package this fall, he proposes to give, are you ready for this? $24,000 to newborn children. He proposed, and that could be revised up to $75,000. He proposes to give upwards of $65,000 of tuition to children of parents who make six figures. He proposes to give just money and money and money across the board, but not particularly stimulus checks. So that is why stimulus checks is the instrument at hand that really works. Viewers of this channel are several groups of walks of life. They are seniors, they are people on benefits, they are unemployed people, they are employed people, and they are business owners, all different types of walks of life. But what everyone has universally agreed is that stimulus checks are needed, that faster, bigger stimulus checks are needed, that the House plan of giving little drizzles of stimulus checks over very, very long periods of time, $1,000 over 18 months, never gets people caught up on bills and just has the interest on their bills compound and grow and grow and grow. People need to get caught up and put back to whole. Finally, one message I've never said on this channel for a while is that the American Jobs Plan from the president, the labor, working on infrastructure, those jobs start in 3 years from now. So people need money right now to get caught up. And with that, I'm going to be going over more of the reaction and the details from Wall Street and the White House to these shocking news. This hit like a brick, and we are far from over. So make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. 400,000 subscribers, we're just a few steps away. Be part of this family. Also, I want you to not miss a single video across the board. Like this video and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Casino VIP. The coverage continues later today. I know I missed some shows yesterday. I won't be doing that today. I'm back at 2 hours from now with noontime LALATE, then afternoons LALATE. 2 hours of 2 hours back and another live show, and then a low show after that. And then we go into our tape shows, afternoons, evenings, and LA late night. Stay informed, stay focused, keep on smiling, and stay with LA for more.